prices went down, the compensation plan had to be reconstructed. Compensation plan was reconstructed. Many people left the business. They were disillusioned. They were concerned. They were confused. Now, pricing was reestablished at about 20 cents a minute. Well, let me ask you this. How many of you are spending 20 cents a minute for long-distance service? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And so when the prices went down to 6 cents a minute, the compensation plan had to be completely reconstructed again. And when the compensation plan was reconfigured, then what took place? Once again, a lack of belief, and ultimately the company fell into absolute total turmoil and disrepair and failed. What is the lesson? The lesson is that if it's a technology issue, the price will go down. The price of any technology issue always goes down. When the price goes down, the compensation plan has to be reconstructed. When the compensation plan has to be reconstructed, the distributor force is decimated. You know, sometimes the lessons seem so hard to learn. I have a friend named Alex. Alex launched a company. He was involved in XL Telecommunication. He launched a company. He called me, tried to get me involved with it. Said, Randy, we're going to sell music downloads, and we're going to do it through network marketing or multi-level marketing. I said, Alex, don't do it. Don't do it, because the price of those downloads will only go down. It will not go up. And when it goes down, you're not going to be able to fund the compensation plan. You'll have to reconfigure. And I said, because there is no usage, there's not enough usage on the back end, you're going to have to be receiving income on the front end from your internet portal, and you're going to come to grief. See, there are no new mistakes in network marketing. There are new people making old mistakes and old people making old mistakes, and sure enough, that sadly came to be. Well, what are the lessons? The lessons are that in order for us to confidently enter the arena with the anticipation of long-term success, it must be predicated, the business model itself must be predicated on the consumption of a physical, tangible, consumable item. This is what the industry has shown. If there is a product which has the capacity to change the way that a person looks, change the way they feel about themselves, or in a meaningful, a measurable, not simply anecdotal way improve their health, then there is a fundamental value that will survive a challenge. And here's what I have learned. I have learned that the price of health-related products and the price of appearance-related products is always pushed up by the conventional business enterprise. Ask yourself this question, if you happen to be a woman and you're reviewing this. When did you last see Marcella Borghese, Estee Lauder, Clinique lower their prices? Never. Personal appearance product prices go up. That's why companies like Nu Skin, skincare products, Sunrider, personal care products, that's why they're able to have stable compensation plans, because there is an outside the network marketing industry support for those pricing models. When did you ever see the price of healthcare go down? Ever? Did you ever see the price of healthcare go down? No. That's why companies in the nutritional supplement industry, in preventive healthcare, in natural healthcare, in supplementation, that's why those compensation plans can be stable, because there's not a downward price pressure. Well, I guess my message here is that there is a long past. There's a history. We can learn from it. We can then look at that history. We can apply the entire history to Monavie. And we can then also take into consideration Monavie's experience during its first 4 years, and we can arrive at a considered, well-thought-out conclusion that there is something special here. Let's learn a lesson from NSA, National Safety Associates, a remarkable company. One of those companies that entered the industry in the 1980s, has impacted the industry in a significant way. NSA taught us this very important lesson. They taught that the product must be consumable. Let me ask you this question. How many water filters did you buy last month? Well, probably none, but if you did buy one last month, how many more would you want to buy this month? The answer clearly and obviously is none. Let me ask you another question. Did you buy a bottle of juice last month? Any kind of juice? Did you drink it? Is it all gone? Would it make sense then to buy another one because the first one's gone? That's the way that our business model works. If the first one's all gone, then it's logical and natural and seems appropriate to buy another. It's not about the compensation plan, it's because the first one is all gone. The more highly consumable a product, the more perfect it is for the network marketing industry. Well, we can look at this history of network marketing, and we can contemplate the evolution in a few ways. We can contemplate the fact that there is now a playing field, and we know specifically and exactly what the rules are. We can look at this evolution in light of the fact that the industry has existed since 1903 and has existed in earnest since 1959. We can look at the evolution of the industry in the respect that there have now been a host of companies that have existed for 20 years and beyond. See, the industry is no longer in question. That's what I want you to understand. 20 years ago, when I got involved, the industry itself was to a degree still in question. There were only a couple of companies that had existed for 10 or 15 years. Very, very few. Today, the industry itself is not in question. I don't believe that that's really public knowledge. I don't think people generally understand that. But the industry itself is not in question. Companies like Amway, Shaklee, Herbalife, Melaleuca, Nu Skin, NSA, there are so many that have been around now since the early 80s that have done and continue to do hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars in annual revenue. The industry is simply no longer in question. The next thing we can identify is the fact that there have been multiple instances now of companies having a series of seasons of growth. There are not just flashpoints in time when a company has a fad period where it grows dramatically. A well-constructed, well-managed company that has the elements truly in place for success, these have shown an ability to have multiple S-curves. That's very important to me because I have a long-term one. This for me, by the way, in case you haven't asked me because you can't talk to me, but this for me is the culminating point of my career. I feel that I've worked my entire life to be prepared for this moment with Monavie. Here I find the absolute finest combination of factors that has ever existed, the best iteration of a network marketing company that has as yet been devised. And it's an extraordinary privilege for me to be associated with the company in this role. Well, we can look then at this evolution another way. We can look at the evolution and identify that it has been absolutely shown that companies that have technology-driven businesses will have thus far at least come to grief because the price of technology goes down, and when the price of technology goes down, the compensation plan has to be reconfigured. We can identify the fact that those companies that have had the greatest long-term success have been those where there has been